The first focus will be on pulling strength. Choose one from the pull-up progressions that fits you the most comfortably and perform that. The first set in the progression is Australian pull-ups. With a waist-high bar, you want to pull to your chest. You should feel comfortable doing 10 to 15 of these before moving on to the next progression. The higher up you are, the easier the exercise will be. As you move your legs and body down, the exercise will become more difficult. The next exercise is jumping negative pull-ups. If you can't quite do a pull-up yet, doing the negative of it will help you unlock and master the movement. Jumping allows you to use your momentum to get yourself to the top of the movement, and then you want to slowly control the eccentric or negative portion of the pull-up. For an exercise you can't do, doing the negative will always help teach your body and get it in every position without being able to successfully do it yet. The next move in the pull-up progressions will be pull-ups. You'll notice I went to an active hang, which will be covered later, and I'm keeping my legs straight as I do my pull-ups. The next move is L-sit pull-ups. You should feel comfortable doing about 10 to 15 pull-ups before starting to work on these. L-sits are a great way to work on the core, and they definitely make the pulling more challenging as you move your legs away from your center of gravity and isolate the back. These will definitely help give you more power and control, though. Another great pull-up exercise are around the world pull-ups. These help isolate each arm just a little bit, and the greater range of motion not only makes it more challenging, but will help develop more strength. I try to keep my chin above the bar when I do these. Once you feel comfortable with regular pull-ups, L-sit pull-ups, and around the world pull-ups, it's time to add some weight. I always recommend going light to begin. You don't want to injure yourself, and some things just take time. However, adding weight is a great way to increase the overload and increase your strength. I would start with the lightest weight you can, and if you can do 10 reps, then you can add a little bit more until it becomes more difficult. Once you've mastered those, it's time to do weighted L-sit pull-ups. Once again, increasing the overload and making the exercise more challenging, but you'll get more gains. The next progressions will focus on pulling strength, but will change the angle, eventually leading to a front lever. Let's talk about the active hang. The active hang is where you engage your scapula and pull your shoulders down and back. I do all of my hanging this way now, and it really builds strength in your back, especially your scapula. This will help with your pulling strength immensely. You can build this by doing scapula shrugs. It helps to move your head back and to look up as well. You can also do protracted scapula holds to build the strength. Now, once you've engaged your scapula, you can then engage your lats to pull down. This is similar to a lat pull down you do on a machine, but it's with your body weight. So first engage in the active hang, then pull with your lats. You can rep this out to build strength and comfort. You can also just do protracted lat pull down holds. This will eventually start giving you the strength to then pull your body up into front levers. Start getting familiar with this. You can do tuck front levers where you pull your legs up and use your core much more. You will need to build more strength in your back in order to support your weight as your legs are fully extended. This is a great way to start doing so. The next set in the progressions will be one-legged front levers. Keeping one leg fully extended and the other close to your body, you pull up in a similar motion to the tuck front levers. You'll want to switch legs to get familiar with both sides. It helps to focus on just leaning back as you do it. Eventually you'll be able to do front lever raises. It helps to flex your core and your back as hard as you can when you're doing these exercises. Lock-off strength is the next set of exercises. The lock-off is where your arms are at a 90-degree angle. Everything is very engaged. You can work this by just doing lock-offs on the bar, and you can even pull up to the top of the bar, to the top of the hold. Doing so in both cases will help build strength. This will directly translate to your climbing. Once you feel comfortable with both arms, you can do one-arm lock-offs. Switching the grip will either help engage more of the forearm or the bicep, depending on if you're in a pull-up or chin-up position. I typically do mine in the pull-up position because that translates better to climbing. Let's talk about one-arm strength. Just as we did Australian pull-ups, you can do one-arm Australian pull-ups, focusing on pulling the opposite shoulder up and to the bar. This will really help starting to develop your one-arm pulling strength. I'd suggest that you build a solid base of pulling with both arms before you start to really focus on one arm. You can also do these on the rings. The added benefit is that you can twist even more and reach up. In my mind, I envision that I'm actually reaching for a hold. This will really engage your core and back. The next move for one-arm strength are offset pull-ups. Rings are the best for these because you can adjust the height. Pushing with one and pulling with the other is a great way to assist yourself into a one-arm pull-up. The amount that you use the lower arm will make it easier or harder. I always recommend, of course, doing equal amounts on both sides to even out your strength. Rings are nice too because you can twist them. So you'll see I twist into more of a neutral grip at the top there, which makes it just a bit easier. You can use this same type of exercise to then pull up and remove the other arm and do a one-arm pull-up negative, trying to control that eccentric motion as best as you can. The spinning is just a bonus. Like I stated earlier, if you can't do an exercise yet, doing the negative will help you unlock it. Now, as climbers, we don't need a lot of leg strength, but it's great to develop some. Normal squats will help build strength without adding too much weight to the lower half of your body. This is also an important progression to build strength to be able to go into the next progression, which is pistol squats, one-legged squats. These require quite a bit of balance and stability as well as strength. And these translate very well into climbing because it's very often that we are putting all of our weight onto one foot and standing up, especially on slab or flat wall. I highly recommend trying to master pistol squats. For an added challenge, you can always add weight as well. I don't because I don't want to build too much muscle down low. Next, for shoulder strength, I recommend doing I's, T's, and Y's on rings. I would absolutely recommend starting on your knees as this is quite a challenging exercise. T's are where you put your arms out, as you can see, like a T. For I's, you're going to go straight forward. Engagement is crucial here. Flex your back, flex your core, and squeeze. This will also help build your scapula, back, core, and definitely shoulders. Y's, as you can see, are similar to the I, but on more of an angle. Once you feel comfortable on your knees, then you can move to your feet. Now this is a very challenging exercise, so please do so with caution and really master it on your knees first. It's a great way to injure yourself, but it's a great way to build strength as well. Now you can bring your strength training onto the wall. This idea originally came from Louis Parkinson, and I'm going to include the link to his video down below. But pull-up power is the idea that every time you make a move on a route, you take your feet off in a controlled manner, and then you pull up, going shoulder in to the top hand. So you'll see that I pull in to the hand that is higher than the other one. What's really wonderful about doing your strength training on the wall is that this is going to very directly translate into your climbing. Not only will it help build grip strength, but the positions, as well as how comfortable you feel on holds and on the wall, are going to increase with repetitions. This is the best way to really have your strength training be applicable. My favorite is to do it on really good jugs on an overhang. The crimpier the hold, the higher your chance of injury, so I really don't push it here. I mainly focus on just pulling strength. Of course, with that active hang. You'll find that such controlled movement on the wall too will actually help your consciousness of where your body is, as well as your footwork in a bizarre way. As you fatigue, you're going to want to make it easier, and you're going to instinctively look for better ways to do the movement. That will particularly occur in the next exercise. I always recommend down climbing as well, just to reduce the impact on your knees. You can also exercise your lock-off strength on the wall. Once again from Louis Parkinson, move your hand up to the hold, but pause a solid 3 seconds before you grab it. This is going to give you control and very powerful static strength on the wall. Sometimes you will be in a full lock-off before moving to the next one. You'll feel a lot of engagement from your back and your core as you have to hold your body in these precarious positions. Once again, a great way to directly translate your strength onto the wall into your climbing. And you'll see there that I do a heel hook, which I would normally not do on this route. So once again, a great way to really hone in and focus on the technical application of climbing as well as building strength. In my own opinion, climbing very slowly is always a great way to really hone in on your technique. And that will conclude strength, which is day 1 in the training series. I hope you enjoyed, and stay tuned for next power. Much love. Peace.